Ladies and gentlemen, welcome into the Semi-Perfect Podcast. It is Wednesday, September 6th, 2017, and I have registered my car today.
Hooray!
Adult stuff.
Adults, I got to go to the DMV at my lunchtime.
Oh my gosh, I bet
Was
you were
it
just
manned by
ecstatic.
sloths?
I walked up and I went, "Hi, how are..."
You're standing
So,
in the wrong line, honey.
So tonight we have another Wednesday show. Going to be discussing some of the new MLP episodes. I know that we have another convention that's been announced, as well as I know Sarah's got some topics that we're going to go over. First off, can we get a hallelujah, amen, praise be to Sarah? She is here. Yeah. I did not screw up the opening and beginning of the show because Sarah is back in charge.
Hooray!
So, thank goodness for that. So yeah, first thing we're going to do right now is we wait for some of our other podcasters to join in. We're going to go through the food posts for the day. Sarah, let me know
What's
if
everyone eating
All right.
tonight?
So 5 hours ago, Jory posted his having a delicious meal before work. Hope to get up early to watch the podcast, and it is Chick-fil-A Spicy Deluxe with pepper jack.
Nice.
Oh,
That's
yes.
a good choice.
That is my go-to sandwich right there at Chick-fil-A. Excellent. I see a post from Silver Blaze saying, "Ready for the podcast to start with my gummy bears from Italy."
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. And Murrican-Dew.
Murrican-Dew?
It says Murrican-Dew.
Is that like Mountain Dew, but like made in America?
It's Code Red Mountain Dew.
Ah.
Oh. Is the Mountain Dew made in America?
Silver Blaze posted that 40 minutes ago.
Yeah. 48 minutes ago, Ben Dude, or Cake Slayer, has Trident gum. Island Berry Lime, Iceland. Yes.
And then we have Drummer Shy has got some McDonald's in stuff.
And Kool-Aid.
And Kool-Aid.
The
Which
healthy.
looks like coffee.
It looks like
I think
Coca-Cola.
Yeah, I think that's Coke. I just don't. Maybe he doesn't know what Kool-Aid is.
Cocaine. Nikki D has a Dutch chocolate. It says cookies, but I only see one.
Well,
And
he
historical.
ate all of them, except for one. He had to take a picture of one, at least.
That's kind of like sharing after you've already eaten your food. It's like, do you want some? But it looks.
You want some gum? It's already in my mouth.
Let's see. Oh, and historical methods. Lego. I'm just reading the tweet. Ross Fitz says eating leftover Disney World candy from Mickey's Not So Scary Halloween Party.
They're
while
already
watching
doing those?
I was just gonna say that's already happening.
Oh, I was like, Halloween hasn't happened from last year?
That's some bad candy if it's from last year. Before
I got
that
some Halloween
is
candy.
Norse Brony had a quiche and soda, and hopefully they stay awake throughout this podcast. They're
Do you guys think quiche is a posh food?
It sounds like it's a posh type of meal, but it seems very rustic, and
It's basically egg pie.
that sounds gross.
Yeah, they didn't sell it. Nora saying having some mango juice as I prep for Hurricane Irma and listen to the Semi-Perfect Podcast.
Stay safe.
Mango juice.
On that note, definitely want to first off, send well wishes and hopes and thoughts out there to everybody who has been affected by Hurricane Harvey, as well as we have Hurricane Irma. What is this, like back-to-back hurricanes?
Yeah, pretty much. Category 5.
Great.
There's a third tropical storm on the way too.
Irma might be heading up the East Coast and like hitting all of the East Coast, at least the Southeast. So it might be hitting us here in North Carolina.
Go
What's
towards
the third one
California.
called?
With Jose.
Is that like legit?
Yeah, it's a
I
tropical.
was waiting for a
storm.
joke. Like
I was waiting for a joke too.
No, I'm serious. There's a third one. It's on its way. I'm not sure. Laura's here. I'm going to switch from my phone to the laptop, so we'll be back in a bit.
Okay, cool.
Okay.
See you in a moment. Looking for.
Well, we're gonna finish off these circus peanuts. I don't know if I've ever had circus peanuts. Has anyone here had circus peanuts?
What, you mean like the candy or like
Yeah,
actual
the candy.
peanuts? Oh, the candy.
Are they good?
I don't really like them that much. My grandma loved them though.
Are they any different from the styrofoam packing peanuts you get? Because
No,
that's
they're not that much different because they're fucking gross.
What?
Yeah, so that's
wow, guys,
that's Chris.
just dog on Chris's food. Jesus.
Well, I'm
Well,
not
he
dogging
might like
them.
them, but
I've
I
never
don't
had
like
them.
them.
Chase is having some good old salty chips.
Yeah, Cape Cod brand chips.
Tasty.
Nice.
Those are
Salty chips.
Yeah.
love me some.
So I
I
guess
think
now's
that's
a
all
good
for the
time.
food posts.
Yeah, that's all I'm seeing. Now's a good time for us to go through and do intros, I guess, ladies and gentlemen.
I got a question before we do.
Okay.
Yeah.
Going off the circus peanut comment, y'all have a guilty pleasure candy, one that everyone else hates, but you like?
It seems like a lot of people don't like candy corn.
Dude, I love candy corn.
You're with me there.
I feel you, brother.
Candy corn.
Is there anyone here?
It's decent.
Okay, so maybe I've just heard a lot of people recently dog on it, and I'm like,
Oh. I
My-
forget
my-
the name of them.
I'm like not the best person to ask this question because there's not a lot of stuff I can eat. Anyway.
What about black licorice? Where are you guys with black licorice?
Yeah, I'm not
Love
a
it.
fan.
And I also love the licorice all sorts. You know, the old school, like, multicolored things. Awesome.
You mean Good and Plenty?
No, I don't know. They're
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
the
Decorative.
exactly. If any of you played Roller Coaster Tycoon 2, it's the licorice set that you can use.
Oh.
Those
By the way, just a heads up to one. Oh, now I don't hear it.
And
I was getting
I'm
feedback a second ago.
from somebody. Matt, I know you usually don't use headphones.
Yeah, but it'd show up on Discord if it was.
It might be me. Let me turn up my.
Now I'll never hear Hero talk again. I heard it once, and now I don't
I've
hear
heard
it at
a
all.
couple of times now.
I'll
It's
also turn
usually
my mic
when
down a notch.
Jeffrey's loud. Is when it happens.
Who's Jeffrey? Oh, you mean ACRacebest? Because that's what he goes by on his...
I call you
What's
Jeffrey
the-
all the time on this podcast.
Especially on this show.
Well, you technically call me Jeffrey all the time in real life.
Yeah.
No, in
You
real
used
life,
to
you
call
call
me
me
Race.
Racebest.
Sarah initially
I'm
met
doing
me,
the
and I
feedback.
was Race.
Yeah.
Feedback?
Yeah.
Hello.
Oh, then it was not me that time. Then
Okay.
Is
Well,
it,
we'll
is
have
it,
to
I
just
think I'm coming through
bear
your
with it.
computer,
mine.
Sarah. Yeah, when I go
Well,
like
then-
this.
Well, then stop yelling so much. We
You
have
stop
a small
yelling
apartment
so loud.
with thin walls.
Yeah, we found that out.
oh,
Mm.
I'm amazed you guys found an apartment that shares no common wall with your neighbors.
I love that only Heroes acknowledging this.
By the way, for candy, I think what they're called, they look like milk. I think they're called Whoppers.
Yeah, the
Whoppers?
molten milk.
Yeah.
Yeah, I like them. Apparently, a lot of people hate that candy.
Really?
I love them. I love
Yeah.
them.
I
They
think
are
Whoppers
they're
are good.
great.
one of my favorites. I love
What do y'all think about Tootsie Rolls?
I like Tootsie Rolls.
They're I ate.
low
like, they're all right.
capacity. They're good in low doses.
I don't
Mhm.
like candy that are hard to chew. And
Mhm.
Tootsie Roll's one of those.
Oh,
Oh,
speaking of
yeah.
hard to chew candy, I like Now and Later.
Oh
Now
yeah.
and Later's. Yeah.
A lot of people like Mike and Ike's, but I really just do not.
Why are the names of candy so weird? Now and
I
Later,
used
Good
to
and Plenty, Mike and Ike.
Whatchamacallit?
Any of y'all had a Nabba Zabba before?
Bill Cosby?
Oh wow.
Anyone tried that Toblerone?
I do
Oh,
love
God,
Toblerones. I think they're very tasty.
Hello.
Hey.
We're-
Hello, Laura. How are
You
you?
guys hear us all right?
Yeah, we're discussing the okay, first off we were talking about candy that you like that nobody else likes.
Milk duds.
Yeah.
Ooh.
I
There
love
you
milk
go.
duds. Although I'm finding that I love like all candy except for candy that has coconut.
Do you like Butterfingers?
Yeah.
Yes.
Oh, yeah, I'm with Hero on this one. Butterfingers, they are so disappointing.
Well, I will take all of your Butterfingers from Halloween, Paleo. Send them my way.
The only issue I have with
They all get
Butterfingers,
stuck in your teeth.
You're
I
eating them
thought you said something else. The only issue I have, with Butterfingers are like the aftermath. It's like it's a weird stuck in your teeth sensation.
wrong. How do you all eat your Butterfingers? I haven't experienced that.
With my teeth.
Clearly, you're doing it wrong.
Clearly, you.
What do you do? Suck on it?
Yeah. What do you do?
I don't know. I eat them like I would any other piece of chocolate, and I've never really noticed the stuck in the teeth thing.
Well,
Then
you must
again,
be
I'm
better at
just weird,
sucking on
so-
it than I am at chewing it. So.
It's not tasty enough for the effort for me.
Fair.
Interesting. So, for intros, I'm ACRacebest. Good to see you all. We have Toodles here on time
Hi.
because she doesn't have to
Hi.
worry about.
I don't have a job anymore.
Oh,
Yay!
Depressing way to do it. You're still
We
doing the
have-
freelance thing, which is kind of
Yeah.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah, Sarah does commissions and all that
Yeah.
stuff. We got PanamaMatt in the house.
Bonjour.
Bonjour.
Paleos.
Bonjour, bonjour, bonjour.
Hello, I'm here.
We have Laura.
Oh, hey.
We have Saber.
Hi.
And we have Hirosashii.
Greetings, y'all.
Glad you
We
joined
do
us,
not
Hero.
have Gabe. He had a commitment for tonight, but he did tell me that he wishes he was here. So I'm going to start this off actually with a Gabe story. I told Saber this earlier. We talked on the phone a little bit, but so last night Sarah and I went to the movies, and Gabe sent me a video. For those of you that have been in the movies or just seen the poster, there's a movie coming out called, I guess it's called Happy Death Day. And I don't know anything about this movie, but it has it's either called Happy Death Day or that's like the slogan, but I don't know. And the image is like of a cake, and it has a big old knife that, like, Jason Voorhees would be using. And in the knife, you see a reflection of these eyes. And Gabe sent me a video. He was at the movies, and he took a video of this poster and was like, look, Grace, it's Judy Hopps. It's Judy Hopps. And I'm looking at these eyes, and I'm like, oh my God, I see where he's coming from with this look. Well, he didn't know I was at the movie theater, so I sent him a video like 5 minutes later of me walking up to the poster at my theater and going, oh my God, Gabe, you're right. It really is. And that was it. It was really funny. It was hilarious.
Dude, speaking of Gabe, I checked out his YouTube channel the other day. Shameless plug for Black Griffin there. That paramotor, I believe that's what it's called.
Yeah.
That he does.
Mhm.
He put up a video of that, and holy crap, the number of times he nearly dies doing that.
That's Gabe.
Yeah.
I know it's Gabe. It kind of
I
makes me
want
want
to
to
see a
cry, and at
movie.
the same
I
time,
want to
makes
see
me-
Final Destination starring Gabe.
Like it's Death's it's Death's mortal enemy. Like literally.
Wait, he doesn't even notice it's death the entire time.
I wonder if it'd be like that. Sarah, what's that show on Disney? The one where the guy like keeps having bad things happen to him, but he's just like so nonchalant about it.
Oh fuck.
Smart guy.
It's the one with
Milo Murphy.
Weird Al.
Milo Murphy's
Milo-
Law. Yeah.
I thought you said My Little Murphy, and I'm like, yeah,
My
that one.
Little Murphy. No.
Wait,
The
she
one
didn't
with
say
Weird Al.
that?
Milo Murphy's Law.
Yeah.
Oh, Milo.
Milo Murphy.
So yeah, so we good time. Good to have you all here. It's
Yeah.
another Wednesday.
Well,
Can't believe it's Wednesday already. Wow.
yeah.
So how is everyone's last 2 weeks been? Anything new for anybody? Just shout out if you got a story.
Just doing job search.
Yeah.
Yep, that's
Represented a witness on a federal case the other day.
Ooh. Does that require like more work for you?
Thankfully, he didn't have much to worry about at all. I basically just got to sit and watch a federal trial. It was kind of impressive. I'll update y'all when I know what happened at the end of it. It's still going on as far as I'm aware. Yeah, it's good times.
Nice.
I love my job.
I just realized if I befriend a lot of lawyers, like a lot of lawyers, and then I get jury duty, there's a better chance that I won't be able to take the case. Because then I might know the lawyer, and then they'll be like, "You can't do it."
True.
So I gotta make some friends.
Isn't that a lot more work than just doing the jury duty?
Yes, it is. I went. I forget if it was since the last show that I had to go to jury duty.
I think it was.
I can't remember. Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
Because during our podcast, during that week, I hadn't yet had to go. I had to go in on that Friday. They nabbed me. They got me, and it sucked because they have options for you to check in, and you have to check in every day of the week until you're called. And I thought I was going to get away with it. And everybody at work was like, "Oh, you didn't have to do jury duty this week." And they were saying that on Thursday. I'm like, "You assholes. I haven't confirmed that yet because I might get called in tomorrow. Now everyone's acting like I'm free, so now I know I'm going to get called in." And Sarah and I...
one time.
What?
I got out of jury duty one time.
Right, with your iJack shirt.
Yeah.
What?
Do you know the story?
No.
Okay. I'll tell it.
Yeah.
Can you all hear me all right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Sure. I've
Led
been
on a
called to
super.
jury duty about 3 times. And the third time was like, that's it. I'm done. I'm not doing this. And
You
my
said it until
lowest-
the judge finds out.
well, what does he know? He's a dummy. But so I
Reminds me of a story. Go ahead.
I already know, like, if you're biased on the case and you just look like a piece of shit, they'll get rid of you. And so I went up. I wore like the most brony-esque outfit ever, and I like my hair was all messy. I smelled. I had like this shirt that says iJack because it's like Applejack with the iPod thing, but so it said iJack, and I'm like iJack off the ponies. When the trial was happening, they were starting to select the jurors, and there was a part where they're like, "Okay, so if anybody has any bias, speak up now." And I spoke up, and I'm like, "Yeah, I'm biased towards assault cases to the person who's the victim. Like, I am not comfortable with that because I do know people who've been assaulted before, and I'm just naturally biased towards victims, which is not good for the case." But I really hammed it up in the audience because they're like, I guess the attorney or whatever is like, can you tell us why? And I'm like, because my friend was attacked. And the guy was like, I understand. And then they dismissed the jurors. They brought them back in, like a classroom. Class come back in. Everybody sat down, and they go, Stephen Carver stood up. They go, "You're dismissed." And I'm like, "Thank you." And all the other jurors were just giving me like the eagle eye, like just staring me down, throwing daggers. And I'm walking out of that courthouse at 12 p.m. Got my day to myself. I'm out of there. Peace out. It probably was a bad thing, but
So while I went in, like I said, I can still hear myself.
Matthew,
Yeah, I
mute
heard
your
it
mic
too.
while you're switching to headphones.
Matt's taking care of it right now. But Friday night, or no, I'm sorry, Thursday night, I had to cover an event out about 45 minutes away from here, and the event started at 7. Well, that's when you can check in online starts. So I'm like, oh crap, I'll just check in when I get home. Well, I got home at 12:05, and their website is down between 12 and 2 a.m. And I'm like, God dang it. And I'm like, well, I could wake up early because I have to check in, I think, by 6 a.m. I'm like, or I could just wait till 2 and find out I don't have it, and then I'll be good, and I know I'm good. Well, 2 a.m. rolls around, I check in, and it says, hey, we'll see you at 8:15, 45 minutes from where you are. Bye. And I'm like, shit.
Bye.
So I went out there, and the weird thing was I ran into my uncle. He was called in for jury duty the same day I was. And I didn't know. I didn't know he had jury duty or anything. And we both kind of bumped into each other, and I'm like, oh, what the hell? Hey, how you doing? So then we were kind of hoping that they'd call both of us into the same, trial. So we'd be like, I know him. He knows me. Bye. So yeah. So anyways, what ended up happening was I was dismissed at like 11:30. I guess they only had one case. And it's really charming to see humans be put into very simple situations and not be able to perform, because the lady, they have 2 ways of filling out this form. You can do it online to register, or you can fill out the form and mail it in. And most people did it online. So they hand out the forms and say, this is our only way of knowing that you were here for attendance. So fill this out, same way you answered it, and turn it in. After the 5th time of this lady having to vocalize this, she's like, okay, everyone, I've been asked 10 times now. Once again, if you have done it online, you still have to fill out this form and give it to us. And I kid you not 5 seconds later, a lady raises her hand and says, but if you did it online, do you have to still fill out the form? And I'm like, my God. I was walking in the front, and I just burst out laughing. I was just like, ah! I'm like, this is so stupid.
It's just like school all over again.
You probably made the people behind the desk as well appreciate the fact that, yes, you too went along on that journey with them.
Oh my God. So yeah. So anyways, and then they came out later, and they're like, oh, we got it. All I know of the case that they were doing was that they're like, all right, well, this is going to be 25 days, and everyone's like, oh, and I was exempt from that one because my work doesn't pay enough days. So I'm at least glad that they take all that into account, as opposed to saying, well, just don't pay rent for a month.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, but it ended up being it wasn't a long issue or anything. So that was nice. But yeah, that was my long jury duty story.
What always amuses me are the people that think they know how to get out of jury duty.
Oh, well, Saber figured it out.
Saber is actually what reminded me of this story. It was
12 school years of Matt's law degree or Saberspark beating the courthouse.
Oh, Saber,
you're going to say beating something else.
I got one for you.
Saberspark beating his wiener.
Hijack.
An entirely different set of problems.
Or solutions.
No, so this was the first trial I ever did. Way back when. He says like he had all of the experience in the world. No, this was my first trial. It was the defense attorney's first trial, and as it happened, it was this judge's first trial. He'd been recently appointed to the bench.
Awesome.
Yeah. Amazing experience, but there was this one dude that got put up in the jury box to have questions asked of him, and this dude clearly didn't want to be there. He was sitting back, slumped down in his chair, one arm tossed over the back of it. He had some black graphic tee on that just really not courtroom appropriate.
Was it hijack?
Yeah, not quite hijack, but actually, I would have preferred hijack, actually, now looking back. But the judge, to his credit, he did very good during this whole thing, and he'd been an attorney before that, so he knew how all this worked. And he, said, "Hey, anyone here? We're going to go through the voir dire process." And in the legal community, some say voir dire, others say voir dire. Who cares? Anyone here think they can't be impartial to this case? And this guy raises his hand, and okay, let's see what this is. Yes, sir. What's your reason? First of all, Your Honor, it's pronounced voir dire.
Oh my god.
Correcting a judge, number one, is a very inadvisable idea.
Bo dear.
And I would call into question the competency of any court that would mispronounce such a basic thing to be able to preside over a trial like this. All of us who were attorneys in the room just kind of froze for a moment, pondering exactly what it was we just heard. The judge, for a moment, was taken aback, I would say. Rather than get... for those of you that aren't familiar with the formality of the legal process, this guy basically just stuck up both middle fingers and then slapped the judge in the face.
Nice.
We were waiting to see how he was going to respond, and he did probably the best thing I've ever seen any judge choose to do in such circumstances. I thought this guy was getting arrested for contempt. But no, the judge was a bit blustered, but he composed himself and said, all right, I can see that you have some strong opinions about this, and indeed this may not actually be the best case for you. And I'm pretty sure this guy thought he was getting excused. No, actually, what you're going to do is you're going to head back downstairs to the jury coordinator room and report to them and let them know that this was not the right case for you and ask to be put on another one. You're going to go down there because I'm going to call them. And if you're not there, you will be brought back in contempt of court. And they will find you another trial that is more befitting of your stature.
Oh, shit. If only he wore the hijack shirt.
Exactly.
He was so close.
I have never seen a judge. I've seen judges handle themselves very well, but that was just a beautiful response to that.
Your first case, Matt was so young.
Oh, little Matt.
What was that?
I said it was your first case.
I know. It was a really fun one, too. But anyway, that's getting very far afield. Carry on.
There was one other thing that cracked me out about jury duty, and this will be the last thing I bring up about it. I was just going to say, they play a video for you as a potential juror in the morning.
I know what you're talking about.
And it's so hammed up. It's like, you guys
jury
don't
duty's
understand.
The best thing ever.
They treat it like a documentary, like a mini documentary about jury duty. I
want to chime in after this, by the way.
Yeah, so this guy, and I love it because one of the guys is like, the most interesting thing about jury duty is just it's so interesting. Like I love that aspect of it, and I'm just like, you're not saying anything. There's a girl who's like, I really liked jury duty because I met some lifelong friends on the jury. I'm like,
what? Was she 80?
Hell, she was like some teenage girl. I'm like, how do you even?
Let's go pick some boys up at the courthouse.
I got to bone this guy in the store closet, so I really like jury duty.
The judge grabbed me and said, I'm going to hold you in contempt. And his hands are called contempt.
No.
And then the judge grabbed his hammer.
No.
There's a character from The Office called Stanley, and there's a great episode where he learns that one of his coworkers who's been called in for court, Jim, actually never showed up because he got dismissed the first day, but he pretended to be in court so he can actually go home and be with his wife and kids. And Stanley took a little interview thing, and he's like, courthouse sounds like it's the best for me. I don't have to go to work, they pay for my meals, I get to sit and judge people all day. Sounds like paradise. Because there are people who like that stuff. They find jury duty to be one of the highest callings for civic duty, I guess.
Well, it really is. I know it's a pain in the ass, and I know a number of the ways some counties do it take a lot of time out of your schedule, but I'll tell you, from my end of things, being able to put a case in front of 12 people that have no idea what went on and have them sit there and say, yeah, did it? Is this a crime? It is one of the fundamental benefits of our society. The fact that you don't have to prove yourself innocent, number one, but number two, to be able to go in front of 12 impartial people and say, look, this is what happened, or this is what didn't happen. You guys go figure it out.
I don't get is how a lot of...
Got it this week. For anyone that's doing it, thank you very much from
Matt, question.
My side of the table.
How come, police can get caught? There's that one officer who is, I think, down, somewhere in the southeast where he was calling cameras saying something like, we arrest black people or something.
No, we only shoot black people is what he said.
Yeah, something like that. And apparently they were well, he's retiring or something. How come cops can get away with that stuff and they they don't have to go to the courthouse. Like,
That's
is
a
there a
very loaded
special set
question,
of
Saber.
laws for officers?
Is there what?
A special set of laws? Because I know that's like there's military court. Is there like officer like
No,
laws?
police officers are held to the same standards, same laws that we all are. And, you know, I have not actually seen the video that you're talking about. I don't know if he was trying to be a smartass to lighten the situation or regardless of what was said. I don't know. Again, I haven't heard the exact words. It may have been highly inappropriate, so you're catching me off guard on this completely ignorant hypothetical here. Now those disclaimers are out of the way. No, there is no separate set of laws for police officers. They're held to the same standards that we all are, the same laws that we all are.
Okay.
What they choose to say, we all have the ability to say what we say. The difference for them and us is they're wearing a badge and they're representing the law when they say those things. You know, I will defend any officer who does it by the book as they're supposed to. At the same time, part of my job is making sure they do follow the law, that the searches that they do are proper, are constitutional, are actually doing what they say they're going to do. But in this particular case, I don't know if he thought he was being funny or I don't know what the circumstances were.
Okay.
Clearly, you can see it's playing out its course in the same way as anyone else saying something like that might. But no, there is no separate set of laws for police officers. They are held to the same laws that we are. In theory, they're not supposed to speed. They're not supposed.
I did not know that.
if they're
Who's gonna pull me over?
If they're on duty and responding to a call, oh hell yeah, get there as quick as you can safely. Do your job as quickly and efficiently as you can. Get out there and help the most people that you can. But no, there is no separate set of laws.
On that note, the new episode of My Little Pony is free.
Can we stop talking about court for 20 minutes?
Yeah.
Just quickly change the topic before I keep going.
So does anybody else have anything that isn't related to jury duty that they did in the past 2 weeks? Anything?
One other. Oh, how's that going?
Yeah, she's fine now, but she was in the hospital on Sunday because she started having some chest pain, which she started having like for the past week or so. Turns out she pulled a chest muscle. Yeah, because we were afraid that it might be heart related because there's a history of heart disease in my mom's side of the family.
Mm-hmm.
Thankfully, it wasn't.
Yeah.
But she's doing fine now. She texted me this morning and said she's feeling a lot better because yesterday was I guess the last day she was having a lot of pain because she said she could barely move her arms.
Mm.
So, but she's doing fine now.
Good.
Well, that's
Glad
good. I mean,
better.
in a way, it's kind of a relief to find out. It's like, okay, good. You know,
Yeah.
Pulled muscles definitely better than any other kind of like you said, like heart disease or anything. So glad to hear that. Glad to hear that that's all taken or all getting better.
Yeah.
So yeah. Any other stories for people?
I bought shirts.
Nice.
Well,
I mean, like I've literally never in my life bought a shirt that that was interesting. So this is actually really exciting for me.
What kind of shirt was it? What makes it so interesting?
I bought 2 movie shirts, a Monster Hunter shirt because I love Monster Hunter, and
a polo,
and a rhythm game shirt because I play a whole lot of rhythm. But the 2 movie shirts were Fantastic Mr. Fox, and I bought a Powerline shirt.
I want that
Powerline, like
shirt.
Goofy movie Powerline? Like Goofy movie Powerline?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
Hell
no,
yeah,
like
man.
the ones that
Like
are
an actual
the freeway.
All right, My Little Pony. Let's talk
That
about
reminds
those.
me of one time I went to court for Goofy movies.
All right, Campfire Tales is the first MLP episode on the docket.
Mistman.
Mistman. So this episode is one where Applejack, Rarity, and Rainbow Dash, and all the Cutie Mark Crusaders, they go on that camping trip again that they did back in whatever the fuck season, I don't know. It's like a sister
Season
weekend.
3.
Yeah, season
Yeah.
3. It was like a sister weekend camp thing that they go to these Rainbow Falls. And so they run into a bit of trouble, and to pass the time while their camp is slowly being destroyed, they tell campfire tales. And there's 3 different tales that they tell. Anybody want to talk about which ones were your favorites?
It was cool. I mean, just in general, it was cool to kind of see some pony lore being shown, because it was pretty different from, some other, like, it kind of reminded me of although on a more of a mystic level, but like of that one episode, I think the Hearts and Hooves episode.
Yeah,
Where-
Hearts Forming Eve.
Hearts
Yeah,
Forming Eve,
or-
I'm sorry, that one, not Valentine's Day. There's too many hooves. And hearts. but yeah, so I mean, just in general, I got a kick out of all that.
Yeah.
I mean, anything that expands the world in this, I quite enjoy. The fact that they're willing to create a world impresses me.
I just hate that pony had to be like, I'm gonna give up my good looks
Yeah, I'm gonna give up my youthfulness in order to
because
make something beautiful that could have just been beautiful and like be given like 1 to 2 years of work.
yeah, couldn't they have just like planted trees? Damn it! Like Jesus,
Yeah,
It was urgent.
I gotta
It was
give
not
that
urgent.
instant gratification.
they could have moved. Just move.
That was my favorite one.
No, I'm just kidding. I'm giving it a hard time, but still, like, I just felt bad for the pony that was like, now I must be. Although people that know me know that I'm like, I get really bugged by like body deformation with certain things, and it goes back to when I was a kid. Something like that would have been like, oh god, no, that's terrible. I feel so bad. So I still feel bad.
Speaking of that, their horns were different in that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They were cool.
I like that.
Yeah.
It's neat.
So are those like?
I guess that's what Japanese ponies look like.
Yeah, that's what I was gonna say.
guess
Was
so.
that
What
like?
were the Japanese ponies in that episode? I didn't get to watch.
I mean, it was a very Japanese looking like tail. That
Yeah,
it was
I
like-
was saying.
There's like
Dude,
I
Palace,
gotta go watch it
Empress,
then.
Stuff like that.
Because I'm a big old weeaboo, so.
Or you can watch it because you're a brony, you freak.
Oh,
I feel like
whoa!
Mistbane's story was the only like really good one. Like
I
the
agree.
Rockhoof one was just kind of like, eh. And then
Yeah.
And then he got
and
lots
then
of
the
muscle.
Magnus Burnsides or whatever the fuck. Magnus. what
Yeah, I
was
thought
his name?
Rockhoof was gonna like they were all gonna help him, and he was gonna learn that his strength was his friends.
Yeah.
But there's like, no, he's just strong now.
He just magically got stronger because
Wow,
he
Apple
dug
Bloom, your
some dirt.
favorite. Apple Bloom, your favorite hero sucks.
Yeah. Yeah, she was really excited about that story, but didn't quite sell it for me.
Scootaloo's such a
And well,
Scaredy
okay,
cat.
so I want to talk about actually the Rainbow Dash's story. I can't remember the guy's full name, like it's Magnus something.
Oh yeah.
But the 2 dragons, wasn't that like supposed to be kind of like Ember's parents? Wasn't-
Flash Magnus, right?
Flash Magnus,
What?
that's what it was. Because wasn't like the big horned dude looking dragon Ember's dad from that one episode?
Oh yeah.
And then there's like another dragon that looks a little bit more like Ember in structure. So I was
Yeah.
like, oh, is it Mummy and Daddy?
so giving birth for dragons must be like really easy, because like
They're so tiny
How small.
when they're babies.
yeah, they're like
Oh, don't they lay
They
eggs?
have like
Yeah,
100 kids.
there's eggs. I
That's
wonder
what
how
eggs-
many eggs they lay.
Mm.
Does
I-
Ember have like thousands of brothers and sisters? I don't know.
infestation.
Think they'll ever make a Spike's parents episode?
Spike's parents?
Yeah, I'm serious.
I made fun of, well, not made fun. Who would make fun of an orphan? But I did say at BronyCon. I think it was the first year at BronyCon. I brought that up about like they just like did they just like grab this egg from somebody? Like where did it had to come from someone?
Yoink.
Yoink.
So yeah, I mean like did his parents die, or did they?
He's stolen.
No. Spike's parents drove in a car down like a rainy road, and like a tree comes collapsing down, and they skid off the side of the road, and they hit another carriage in the process, and it's Applejack's parents, and they all go flying.
Oh my gosh.
That's what the movie is gonna be about.
And
I can tell from the previews. Celestia comes by and is like, "Oh, well, at least I could get this egg out of all this. There was nothing else to loot."
She actually was going to eat it, and she was like, "Finally, I can make some scrambled. Oh, there's a baby in here."
She tapes the egg back together.
That was actually Twilight's test to actually, make scrambled eggs.
Failed.
Remember the chalkboard in the background? That was a previous test.
She failed.
So, do we want to move on to the next episode, or does anybody else have anything to say about Campfire Tales? Nah? Okay. So, the next episode is to change a changeling, which was kind of alluded to a couple episodes ago with... so, Thorax has a brother, and he's one of the... Well, he is now the only... changeling apparently that has not transformed as of the start of the episode,
or
one of the remaining
out into the abyss.
So his brother is acting up and being more like, we should, I like the old way of the hive better than this new lovey-dovey feely-weely sort of.
Good on him. Good on him.
But by the end of the episode, he does learn to embrace love, and he's still himself, but he looks better. I actually like his design a lot when he transforms.
It's a lot better than the other ones.
Yeah.
I'm just waiting for Starlight's impulsiveness to come crashing down on her fully and finally.
Well, yeah. I mean, it has a couple of times, but it will.
I told
Last
Sarah.
time she fought the princesses, it worked out fine.
Well, I told Sarah this. There's one thing I will always appreciate about Trixie, and that's if anyone ever makes the argument that Rainbow Dash is like, oh, Rainbow Dash is the worst character because she's so conceited, I'll be like, see, you're wrong.
Trixie!
Factually wrong, because Trixie exists.
That is basically her character, as it did.
Yeah, that's exactly her one character trait, is to be as conceited and as bitchy as possible.
Like, she's... I don't know. Her character, man. I just don't know. I don't know if she's been given so many chances, and she just clearly hasn't, like, oh, I'm good now, but I'm still a dick. It's like, yeah, okay.
She kind of is.
She completely is. There's no kinda.
But she's kind of good. She's good. She helped changelings stuff.
Yeah.
And that was an act of selflessness, right? Right?
Anyone else have comments on the episode?
I don't like it.
This episode was not one of the strongest in this season, I think.
It felt like there was an immediate call out because Thorax, like how Starlight's like, didn't Ember like just get done like telling you
to be more
how to deal with this?
Something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I
He's
guess
like, but my brother's still stubborn, so I can't do anything.
It's just weird to me to see like extremes where they're like, all right, so we used to, I guess, be considered evil, even though that was our one way of surviving that we knew of. And now we're going to be like, we're going to do arts and crafts.
And everyone's okay with
I told Sarah.
I'm sorry.
I told Sarah, I was like, you know what's interesting to me is this seems like it's like a complete parody. Like if somebody took the changes and were like, what if this happened? It's like, that is so beyond what would ever happen. Shut up. But there it is. Thorax is like, yay. So, yep. So is that it for episode?
Part of things I enjoy about like watching watching television is I really need believability to really enjoy a cartoon or just a program in general. I don't know. The fact that they're just like, we're brooding and mean and want to feed on love, and now we're good and happy and everything's great. Yeah, I don't believe it. No, that's silly to me.
It's very fast turnaround.
Right.
It seems weird to me that they like had to realize like, oh, maybe it's a good idea if we still. Like this episode was trying to convince us, I guess, that they lost their way with defending themselves or being proactive physically in a way. Like, oh, that's right, we should still know how to be defensive and maybe be able to attack. And it's like, did you just forget how to do it? Oh, man.
I mean, I guess they did say it's been a while in that episode, right?
Yeah, but how long could it have been?
It's been a month. It's been a while.
Season 6 ended a while ago. I wonder what they were defending from before. Like as changelings, like what was eating changelings back in the day?
They were probably defending against everyone that wanted to kill them from impersonating loved ones and sucking the love out of them.
Oh, just deal with it.
Yeah, that might make an enemy or two.
Maybe one or two.
Yeah.
All right. So, Sarah, did you say that you had some topics you wanted to bring up?
Yeah. Anybody hear about that Magic School Bus reboot?
Yep. Heard something about it.
It's weird because like the trailer, it has its high points and it has its low points, where the high points is the theme song. That's really good. And like the voice actors, they got to do the new Miss Frizzle, which I don't know why there needs to be a new Miss Frizzle, but the animation style, like the design, is not great.
Nope.
Nah.
It's lazy.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Which that's a
And
little
even then,
disappointing.
I like Lin-Manuel, but because I was talking to Hirosashii and Paleo about this last night. But the original song had a lot more. Here you did a better job describing it. Like, it has a lot more. Like,
it has like snappiness and bounciness to it that's reflected by the animation. The school bus is bouncing up and down, which is something that Saber actually brought up. But yeah, it's a lot. It's definitely a lot bouncier. I had to disagree. I had to be the butt guy on the
song
itself. Theme song. Yeah, because I'm gonna make a big old fool out of myself. But like in the original, you say things like "octopus in the neighborhood." Like it's like really exciting and, like I said, snappy. And freaking like there's a lot more chords in the original one that sound good. There's a lot more like Saber said, spunk when he's like bath and liver of lava. Like that's just not in like the new one at all. You know, it's disappointing a little bit.
Also, something
Also, Paleo noticed something. Yeah.
Yeah. There's pitch correction in it.
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah.
Like noticeable.
Yeah, very when he's there's a point in the song where he says the Magic School Bus, and you can hear it in bus where like there's something that's happening there. Like it's pitch correction, but it sounds like auto-tune. It's weird.
Yeah, like his voice kind of starts to descend, like school bus, and like when it goes down, it's noticeable there. Yeah.
Guys, listen, it was either this or Emma Watson. All right, so take your choice.
The thing is, like, if they
now?
did a pitch correction, like, why couldn't he just like re-record it?
The thing is, the song is like we're talking about it, but like it's the actual show itself. It looks the worst. I mean, because one thing I really liked about the Magic School Bus, the original, is that like I mean there are some characters that kind of confuse me a bit as far as like wait who's what now. Because like this took place during the 90s. You've got your, PC shotgun where it's like black, white, Asian, redheaded guy. We all knew Arnold. We all kind of knew Ralph because he wore a backwards hat. You get that one bitch who's like, at my old school, it's like, shut the hell up. We don't care. What are you talking about? Yeah. It's like, we don't care about your dumb school. But like, and it kind of like, I don't know. We live in an interesting age of where like you can do great things with Flash or Toon Boom, but at the same time you can make shitty stuff too. And the same thing can be said for traditional animation, where you get something like, I don't know, I can't think of anything off the top of my head, but like it bums me out that they phone in a lot of this stuff. Like this show looks very phoned in. Everything looks lazy.
Yeah.
The voice acting looks lazy. And a slap to the face is they brought Miss Frizzle to introduce her sister, and then she's like, "Bye, everybody," and it's like, "What? No, Miss Frizzle, you were here. Come back. Stay." She was a great part about the show. She was so energetic, and she had a great voice for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do you think the voice actress was not interested in having like a full-time role and said, "Well, I'll
Yeah.
cameo or something"?
I don't know.
No.
What happened with that?
No,
I don't think that's the case. Yeah, I think people want jobs.
Well, the lady they brought in is Kate McKinnon. Is that who it is?
Yeah.
Is it?
Mm-hmm. It is.
Oh.
So it's
She
like they
was
brought
a
in
nun in a
celebrity.
movie I saw last night.
So yeah.
Speaking of animation, Sarah and I saw the movie Leap last night.
Yeah.
Leap.
Is it?
It's
Is
the
it
ballerina movie that. Sorry, what was your question, Paleo?
good? I was asking, is it good?
It's interesting. Like, first off, before I get into our thoughts, I didn't realize this, but I did see what Rotten Tomatoes was saying about it, and Leap 30-something% or whatever on Rotten Tomatoes. I'm like, oh, but I didn't. I looked into it more, and I found out that it was originally released as Ballerina.
Ballerina, yeah. It's a French movie.
Yeah, but what's weird is that it has a different Rotten Tomatoes page for that, and it's in like the high 70s.
Huh.
So it's like
That's a lot
Americans
right
are like,
there.
ew. And then the international critics were like, that's pretty decent. So the way I described this movie to Saber was it's a movie that whether I'm laughing at it or laughing with it, I still like it. It has enough in it that I enjoyed.
Yeah.
You know, I felt like half the time I was laughing at it.
Yeah.
There were some really weird moments in that movie.
It's a decent movie. It's not
Gotta ask you.
a work.
Sorry to interrupt. Go
Yeah,
ahead.
no, it's fine.
I know you don't like spoilers. Vehemently avoid them. Before going to these movies, do you look at the ratings and the critical reviews, or do you just go in completely blank slate?
It depends. I won't read reviews, but it depends on the movie. If I'm already looking forward to it, I try to avoid Rotten Tomatoes
Yeah, same.
because that rarely is going to make me any more excited for it. But sometimes it'll make me be like, "Aw."
So how about this one?
Yeah.
Yeah.
What? Oh, was that your question?
Oh.
Yeah.
This one as in this movie.
I didn't.
Anything about it?
I didn't
at all?
know this movie existed until I saw it mentioned on the box office forum. So I did glance at the Rotten Tomatoes bit because I didn't know if I was going to see it or not. Like it was kind of a last minute decision for Sarah and I to go. So yeah. I mean, like I said, it's weird to me that there's two Rotten Tomato pages for the same movie just because they have a different name.
Yeah.
And they're very
Yeah.
different.
Yeah, the
Though,
ratings are very different.
isn't it originally dubbed in French?
Is it originally
'Cause
dubbed?
I think there's two versions of it, as in like the original is dubbed in French, and then for the American release it's dubbed in English.
Yeah.
I don't know. It was hard to tell because there were a few moments. There are moments in this where either the animation just did not line up with the words they were saying, or it was more obviously dubbed than at other moments. I couldn't figure it out because there were some moments where Sarah and I kind of turned to each other and were like, "Man!" Actually, what was fun is Sarah and I were the only ones in the theater,
Yeah.
so we kind of had like a little riffing session with it too.
Yeah.
You know, no one else was in there.
No,
so.
like there were some moments where it looked like the English dialogue was matching pretty much perfectly with the lip syncing, but then there were some times where like it's just very, very clearly just not the same things coming out of the mouth, not the same vowels or anything. Mm. But we didn't know if it was just because what's going on?
I think Saber's with his dog.
Oh, okay.
I thought Saber was throwing up.
What?
I hope Saber is with his dog.
What?
What happened?
I just
We heard
We
you in the
were hearing
background.
y'all like playing with your dog or something in the background.
I don't even know what happened in the background that made a sound. Oh, it's just you making sound.
So yeah, no, it's I mean, it's interesting. It's obviously not steady. It's weird because apparently this movie released internationally like a year ago,
Yeah, it did.
so it's been out there for a while. But yeah, we also what?
Is Ferdinand, right? That's
This coming out in December.
It's gonna be so bad.
You
It's gonna be
think?
really bad.
Oh, yeah.
I met the person that wrote this original screenplay for that.
Punch him in the face.
No. No, she was actually hiring, because that's when I was still working at a creative design agency at my school, and she was doing a book, and she had us do the book cover. But yeah,
Cool.
she wrote the original screenplay, but she's like, yeah, the studio changed it quite a bit, so...
It's always such an interesting conversation to get into when you're like, oh yeah, this is gonna be bad. And then somebody like knows the person, like the person you're talking to knows that person.
Well,
'Cause-
I mean, yeah, but like, to be fair, I'm like still kind of like, I don't know if that movie's gonna be good or anything. I only met the person briefly.
I was talking to a friend of mine, and he's like, "Yeah, have you seen Mighty Magic Swords?" I was like, "Yeah, I think that show is like really bad." He's like, "My friend wrote that show." I was like, "What a great show!" It felt terrible.
Job, and they should feel bad for it.
Whoops.
I mean, we know Larson. He makes bad stuff all the time.
But we also smack him for it verbally.
I mean, the fact that anyone is able to make anything, the fact that they put effort into it is worthy of recognition.
Mhm.
Whether or not we like it is a different matter entirely.
Love and tolerance.
This is
They're
why I
also-
do feel bad for the Battleborn people. Their game got
So yeah, no, it's interesting. It's so funny again. Like I know we've talked about this plenty of times on this podcast, but it's hilarious to me how much or how different this year is when you look at the quality of animations from last year to this year.
Yeah.
It's just
2016 was so good. It was like too good.
Yeah.
it was too good. But
Yeah,
I think we
now
realized
everybody's
it
just
too.
taking like a break and
Right.
Here's Leap.
yeah. Here's Ferdinand.
Sarah and I also saw
Yeah, we saw
the,
Close
re-release.
Encounters.
Yeah, the re-release.
Oh, nice.
of Close Encounters. It was cool because like I hadn't seen that movie for a while, but I enjoyed it when I last saw it, so I knew I'd enjoy it. But I was thinking like, oh, it'd be really cool to see it like on a big screen. But actually, the bigger, I guess like cool thing to me was actually having the speaker
sound
set up.
system.
Yeah, yeah.
She's
Well,
Yeah.
the speakers were rattling and like the whole theater just felt like there was like an earthquake going on.
You
I
could
can only
feel
imagine what the end of all that must have been like.
it's so cool because you could literally feel like
The ship flying over.
spoiler alert, but there's UFOs in this movie. That came out 40 years ago.
What?
Yeah, but yeah, it literally like you could feel the spaceship. It's just to me that was cool. That was what made the experience worth it, even more so than just seeing it on a big screen.
That's why I want to see Jurassic Park in theaters again.
Yeah,
Never will.
Me and Hero actually saw, I think it was after the last podcast. I can't remember if it was after the last podcast or not, but we saw Lion King as in theaters
Nice.
for re-release.
We're gonna go see Space Jam in theaters this weekend.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's not kidding.
Yeah, there's a theater in my town that like it's like a one theater, building, and they'll like rotate like old movies every once in a while, and they'll do like a midnight series where they have like little niche things, like they used to do the Pokemon movie all the time, Matrix one time, and now they're doing Space Jam.
Oh yeah!
That's such a
Cool.
good idea because like
Yeah.
movies are meant to be shown in theaters, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, more. I'm surprised that there aren't more theaters that do that. Like,
there
right.
are some, like, look at this site called Flashback Cinema. My theater does it. They show a lot of old movies every week on like Wednesdays and Sundays. And it changes each week, so you can see like certain older movies. Like they've done Jurassic Park before, and I unfortunately I missed it last time. But they do a rotation of different movies.
I think our
So-
theater loves like the TCM Summer Classics.
Yeah.
See,
I love
see
it.
Buck
So-
Wild. Shoot
So ours
a
is
guy.
doing. I think there's quite a number of theaters that are doing this, but there's going to be a lot of Miyazaki movies.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And I think Matt,
Keep
you
me
and I were
posted,
talking
Sarah.
about Spirited Away. Going to see that one.
Keep me posted.
hasn't one of you not seen that movie?
No.
Oh, you've
Uh,
both seen it. Okay,
Matt hasn't seen it. I don't think.
Matt hasn't. There you go. Okay.
But
then
he hasn't
again,
watched a lot of
I-
Miyazaki movies.
I can count on one hand, sadly, the number of Miyazaki movies I've seen.
Well, that's probably
My
about
apologies.
half, but
I was going to say that's
Yeah.
not a small fraction.
Well, yeah, fair enough.
Spirited Away is a treat. I hope
Yeah.
you enjoy it.
that one is definitely like
Best movie.
because we were talking about which one we would want to see in the theaters because I think a lot of the ones that are showing in theaters he hasn't seen yet, but I'm like Spirited Away is like that number one thing that you gotta go see in the theater.
Right.
That's like the
Yeah.
big one.
Basically,
Plus, I have
all
all
of them
the
are
other.
good.
I have
but-
all the other Miyazaki movies that we can watch on my big screen TV.
Mhm.
But yeah,
Nice.
I don't have any other
I
topics.
want to tell.
other than the
I wanted
Disney
to tell
store.
a little story. Okay, that was it. I was
Yeah.
going to bring it up. The Disney
Okay.
Store story. So some people may have seen. I tweeted this out last night. It was right before we went to see the movies. We had a little bit of time between dinner, so we went out to the Disney Store. And every opportunity I get, I go into the Disney Store. I scope it out. I see if there's any Zootopia stuff, whether new or old. And eventually, I talk Sarah into letting me buy more stuff.
You left out the part where you asked the person at the register if there is any new Zootopia stuff.
Well, I'm getting to that part.
Oh,
Matt.
I'm sorry. Carry on.
Whoa.
I don't know what other story you think I'd be telling. So I was just gonna say, I think I've bought 3 of the same. Anyways, that's not important. So I get there, and a girl that I haven't seen before walks up. She's like, "Hey, welcome to the Disney Store. Is there anything you guys are looking for?" And I said, "Well, I'm just looking for the usual. Do you guys have any Zootopia stuff?" And without missing a beat, like she knows in her heart the answer to this question. And she says, "Well, no, because Zootopia was a DreamWorks movie." And I sat there staring at the thing I was looking at, and I literally in my head I'm like, I
You're
don't
fired.
I don't know what to
shush.
I didn't know how to respond to this, because I'm like, I could just be like, well, actually it is, but then I'm like, but then I'm telling somebody who works at the Disney Store, like I didn't want to respond in a way that seemed like mean or whatnot, but at the same time I was just so beside myself
Yeah.
that I was told at the Disney Store that Zootopia was a DreamWorks movie. I was just like, oh, like it almost this was a lot worse. There was one time Sarah and I were at Disneyland, and there was a lady who we were buying French fries from, and I made I don't even know what brought it up, but she basically was like, well, because Disney World was made first. And I was like,
Huh.
Don't think so.
no. And again, but that paled in comparison to this. I did not know how to respond. So I just sat there staring at some Lion King plush, and I just went, oh, okay.
And
Like that's all I could think of saying.
and I was
okay.
just kind of like off to the side, kind of smiling. I'm just like, oh. But to give her credit, some credit, she did correct herself. She's like, oh wait, no, that is ours. Shit. Well, she didn't cuss.
I hope
Well,
she
she-
said.
We did have a
She
a
made-
cast member like cuss at one
Yeah.
time, but
Yeah.
that was another story.
The thing was that the way that she kind of kept digging the hole though, like in her attempt to like backtrack. She was like, oh wait, no, yeah, never mind. Zootopia was a Disney movie. I'm sorry. I was thinking all these people have been coming in and asking about like Pokemon,
Which I don't doubt people do.
Which is also not DreamWorks.
which is not DreamWorks though. So I'm
well,
like,
yeah, but yeah, okay. I get it. I was also like beside myself when she said that. Like, but gotta cut the girl some slack.
You know why people probably have been saying that though? Because Pokemon is on Disney XD now.
Yeah.
yes,
Yeah.
yes, and that's what Sarah said. And the thing is like, this is. I don't know if she'll be able to use it as a learning opportunity. And I'm not saying like, oh, this is, life lesson here, lady. But I know I've been in this type of situation before, and I learned from it in that you don't want to say something like that with that much confidence if you don't know. Like, she could have just said, I don't think so. Maybe thinking like, I think that's a DreamWorks movie. But instead, in the Disney store, telling someone who's probably a Disney fan who's asking about Zootopia merchandise, who you should probably know was a Disney movie because it came out a year and a half ago and only, made second to Frozen the amount of money in the box office. I mean, it did okay.
I like the qualifier there.
I'm just saying it was seen by one or two people, so it made me laugh. I had to tweet about that. I'm like, I don't want to put it out, and a lot of people were like, "Oh, she should be fired." And
I'm just like, guys, come on.
I agree. She should be fired and thrown in
She
jail.
probably had a long 8-hour day, and she's just tired. And she's like, "Oh, these Zootopia nerds need to just get out of my house."
I'm with you, Sarah. I hear you.
But yeah, no, she shouldn't be
It was
fired.
funny though.
It was a mistake. It was a genuine mistake on her part. I do give her credit for correcting herself. She'd catch herself and be like, "Oh wait, no, I'm done."
But
I think we've all been there at one point or another.
Yeah.
Of all the people though to make that mistake with, she had to choose
Disney
me.
World was built first.
Yeah, that was funny. I was like, I want to correct this lady, but I shouldn't. I should just walk away.
She's just
I don't
selling
wanna
French
argue with her.
fries. She probably doesn't know too much. I don't know.
As a cast member.
Well, okay, yeah. Like I figured that someone working at Disneyland, like part of the training process would probably someone would probably mention this is the first park that Walt Disney built. Blah blah blah. But yeah, I don't know.
Well, as a cast member, I've never been one, but to my understanding, there is a bit of like Disney knowledge that they want you to have.
Yeah.
I don't know how much it is transferred to the stores as it is in the parks.
Yeah.
But both of those instances were very.
Yeah.
I mean, it's
you
not
can't
like
expect everybody to work at Disney to be like a 100% Disney whiz.
at the
Like,
same time, I would
especially like
expect
people that are
somebody-
working at the fry stand and just like I don't know. And, I don't know.
Do you guys have any Frozen stuff? Sorry, that was on Nickelodeon for years, and then it was what?
No,
So,
Disney Store
yeah.
definitely knows about Frozen.
I mean, there is a difference between the average cast member walking around the park that's expected to engage with the public on a regular basis
Yeah.
about park-related things and, you know, the person that is giving you your fries.
Yeah.
Nah.
At the
So,
same time, yeah, I do. I'm curious where they were
Yeah.
when they had that thought.
Yeah.
So just want to mention this. I know
I
that
saw the Disney Store open on a day That was cool. They do like a whole little opening ceremony type of thing. And apparently they do it every time they open, is they have this like rope thing that they have in front of the doors, and there's this giant keyhole on a stand, and if there's like a kid that's waiting for the Disney store to open, they'll bring out this giant key and have the kid unlock the thing, and that's the opening of the Disney store. And like there's this, like even like, you know, at the parks there's always like this narrator dude like, welcome to Disneyland Park, fireworks show. They have that like same narrator doing like, oh, and now the Disney store is open, or whatever the fuck. It was cool.
Cool. You know what would be great is like there's probably a store somewhere in the country where there's just like the smallest per capita amount of people that are Disney fans, so nobody cares about this Disney store, and like the guy who works there every morning has to go through this process of putting the key in the lock, unlocking it, getting the whole spiel, but he must feel like the most special person every morning. Welcome to work, as you are about to put in 8 hours with a 30-minute lunch. So yeah, no, that'll be that would, or I was gonna say that was cool. I know you sent me the video. Did you post it anywhere?
No, I didn't post it because I thought it was weird, because like I was like filming this random girl that was like unlocking the thing. I was like, I'm not gonna post this on public. I'm just gonna share it with Jeffrey.
You creeper.
Maybe if you want to, we can go to the Disney store early one day, and you can open it, maybe, if there's no kids.
Yeah, and then I'll ask them about their Zootopia stuff, and then I'll correct myself. Be like, I'm sorry. Wrong studio.
Shrek. Do you have any Shrek stuff?
And then they will put the rope back in front of the store, put the lock back in place, and tell you to leave.
Should we go to Q&A?
Yes, we'll lead into Q&A. I was just going to mention that it was announced over the last 2 weeks that a few of us are going to be going out to Ponyville Cider Fest.
Hooray!
So that's we're looking forward to that. I know Paleo, Saber, and myself are going to be going out and stuffing our faces with cheese curds.
Oh yes,
absolutely. Oh yeah.
I always get excited about these conventions, and the first thing I think about is the food, and I'm like, yes.
Get some big old beer mugs.
Yes. Of cheese curds. I'm going to throw this out there too. Speaking of food in different locations, I'm going to be going to Indianapolis for the first time in my life. This coming weekend, we're going to be covering a very big event, one of the biggest, if not the biggest event that Tommy and I have ever covered. And it's this 3-hour World Championship figure 8 race where these guys for 3 straight hours race on this tiny track that's like a quarter of a mile in cars that are more expensive than the average one on the local racing scene. And yeah, we picked up that show, and so we're going to be flying out tomorrow night to Indianapolis for that. And I was already looking up. What's that?
The Hurricane Jose is going to make landfall in Indiana, so you gotta be careful.
Good. When is that supposed to even hit?
I'm joking, by the way.
Indiana's in the Midwest. Hurricanes.
I know where my states are. I got like a C+ in geometry grouping.
Dad.
So yeah, so I was looking up. So if anyone has like suggestions on food you should try to eat, because I was looking up some stuff, and I think I want to try. It's like a Manhattan sandwich or something. It's like roast beef and mashed potatoes and sandwich and gravy, and I'm like, that looks good. Yeah,
that's an ingredient.
that's one of the ingredients. But no, like I said, that'll be really exciting. And if anyone wants to tune into that, you could go to lowbudget.tv and join us for the weekend. We'll be out there Friday and Saturday. So I'm really looking forward to that. I'll be sharing some stuff probably over Twitter and Facebook this weekend with that stuff. Because like I said, it's a very big deal for our little videography company, Low Budget TV. So it should be fun. Nice. So you guys ready for Q&A?
Yep.
All right. I got the first one here from Cake Slayer. All right. I think this is a question that we kind of missed a couple of times, so I guess we'll just address it now. And it's he asks, was it ever cleared up on the whole Hasbro letter fiasco and whether it was a big misunderstanding or not? And I believe this is something that happened a year ago, where apparently someone's 10-year-old daughter's letter to Hasbro got destroyed because she put suggestions for the show and all that stuff in her letter. It probably wasn't a misunderstanding on Hasbro's part.
What were the suggestions, though?
Okay.
Because that's important.
Yes, okay. I'm going to read like the first portion of this post. My daughter, who is a huge fan of My Little Pony, sent a letter to Hasbro a few weeks ago. It was a pretty standard letter from a 10-year-old telling him how much she loved MLP and who was her favorite pony, etc. She included a suggestion for Trixie, parentheses, take her off the show, no one likes her, and parentheses,
yes!
Derpy, give her more screen time, and she pointed out that Rarity's horn was pink for the first season. I don't know about that. It was not.
Can't pull the wool over this one's eyes.
She included her best Equestria girl drawing and cut and glued the letter together. There you go.
I mean, the sole suggestion of taking Trixie off the show. I don't know if Seth is watching, but the sole suggestion of that. This girl knows what she's talking about. I mean, you can't pull the wool over these kids' eyes. They know. Bad character. That's hilarious to me. I love that. I love that a 10-year-old's like, I have a suggestion. Can you just kick this one off the show, please?
Yeah.
Done.
But yeah, so apparently Hasbro wrote back, someone from the legal affairs department said that they do not accept unsolicited submissions and that no one at Hasbro has read or will read any material that you send. The letter you sent has been destroyed, which, you know, unfortunately, it seems like, oh wow, they're such assholes, but that's the way that they protect their company and stuff like that. I don't think it was a misunderstanding on that part.
They automated a response to that.
It might have been. But,
because they don't care if you're 5 years old or 50.
Yeah.
That's the direction it's going to go.
No, and the thing is that Sarah and I discussed this briefly before the show. It's a bummer for the kid, and I can definitely see where that would totally rip into the heart of a child. But I kind of put this one on the parent. I'm like, why didn't you screen whatever was in the envelope before, opening? I get part of the fun is opening up paper that's mail, but we're talking about a 10-year-old that's getting a piece of mail from the legal department of Hasbro.
Yeah.
Hey, why don't you read this cease and desist? It might just fucker you up. Yay.
Next time she's gonna send them anthrax.
Oh.
The 10-year-old.
This is Sean.
Now take Trixie off the show. Interesting. All right, what's our next question?
Next question, let's see.
Well said.
Let's see. It's also Kickslayer. He sent kind of a small batch. I'm going to skip over Saber's thoughts on episode 14 because we already talked about that on our previous episode. If you want to listen to Saberspark's thoughts on that episode, please watch the previous semi-perfect podcast. Toodles' favorite meal, the jambalaya that my dad makes, and new news on Bronies React or ACRacebest.
Yeah, I also talked to Saber about this. I've just usually a lot of the headway I make on Bronies React happens during weekends, and this past weekend we were out filming at a race that ended up getting rained out, unfortunately.
So what you're saying is you had plenty of time to edit.
Yeah, I wish. And then this weekend, as I mentioned, we're going out to Indianapolis. So it's in the works. I'm making as much progress as I can on it. And it's gonna be out here soon. I just need to get it done, but I am working on it when I can. So it will be out. What's good is that the follow-up episode, the Perfect Pair React, I have a number of people's footage for that already, so I'll be able to kind of transition into that one really quick. That being said, I also want to mention no, actually that was it.
Okay. Let's see. Ross Pitt asks, Saber, when are we going to get a dramatic reading of your D-Day fanfic?
Yeah.
I'm sorry, Saber, you have a D-Day fanfic and I haven't read it yet?
Oh my god. Oh yeah.
Is Saber even
It's
here?
not,
Oh, okay.
not bingeable.
Link me that shit, yo.
I'll have to rewrite it.
No, I want the dramatic reading of it now, and it's
No, well, you understand, I wrote it back in middle school.
I know, that's the point.
Well, Matt, in a nutshell, basically, what happened is I was in art class, not learning arts. I was writing my fanfics. I just watched Saving Private Ryan, and I I wanted to make my own D-Day story. Like, soldiers are cool. So I was writing about it, being like, I was like, day 7, still on the beach. And I'm writing, and then I pause, and I go, wait a second, how long were they on the beach for? And I'm they're pondering, like, maybe this isn't a good idea.
I love the fact that you fact-checked your own fanfic.
Well, I was like, this isn't accurate. Like, I couldn't do it. I was like, I can't just make up how long they were on the beach for. So I was like, shut up,
That's
Laura.
awesome.
I'm just imagining like a 10-year-old you like sitting in an art class, just like writing furiously in a little notebook about like his D-Day fanfic, and then pausing and be like, wait, this isn't historically accurate.
Well, I was like, day 7, millions of Americans are dead. And I was like, that's not accurate. And then I realized if it's accurate, it's just history. So why should I write about it? So I just kind of like, oh, fuck it. I just threw it away. Or it's not that funny. Look,
It's so funny.
no, it's not.
Great visual.
I really want to hear this now.
Okay. Oziel asks, this came out today, but thoughts on Powerpuff Girl reboot getting a 4th Powerpuff Girl? Is it not
They've
Bunny?
had one.
Is it
They've
not
had
Bunny?
a Powerpuff Girl. They've had one back in the day.
Yeah, is it not
Bunny.
Bunny?
Bunny, yeah.
No,
they
it's
made
not Bunny.
the episode was about the making of the Powerpuff Girl, so the other 3 can take a break. And not only was there a 4th one, but there's a fucking ton of them because there was an episode where they made like off-brand.
Yeah, mass manufacturing like Powerpuff Girls.
Which it just, I don't know, that show fucking pisses me off. I'm sorry, Powerpuff Girls 2016.
Yeah.
Is
It's hard for me to be mad at it now because the Cartoon Network barely airs it, so like I don't really care.
It's like they're trying to find a way to just make things worse.
Yeah.
All right, let's see. Next question is from Drummershy. Sour and cream or barbecue potato chips?
Oh, sour cream.
It depends on my mood.
I have
cream
to
and
do
onion.
barbecue because I can't eat the sour and cream.
I have an important question.
What?
Regular chips or kettle chips?
Kettle.
Depends on my mood. Again, I like kettle chips, but sometimes if my stomach feels bubbly, I want regular.
How
Your stomach feels
how does
bubbly.
kettle chips upset your stomach? That's not stomach.
Your stomach. Stomach. Are you reverting back to 10
Don't
years
you
old?
use that tone with me, Saberspark.
Go back to
no,
writing
like-
your D-Day fanfic.
Do you ever have that feeling where it's like certain foods you're like, oh, I don't feel like eating this food right now. Like I was gonna say the sour and cream or barbecue. It depends. Like if I want something saltier, barbecue. If I want something what I think is probably tastier, like if I'm neutral, I'd go with the sour.
How are they either? How is either one of them saltier than the other?
They're both salty.
Yeah.
Barbecue's a little saltier.
How?
I'm just how not paleo? You tell
It's
me.
just a flavor.
It's but salt, sodium. I don't know.
What salt?
Chips always have salt on them.
Yeah.
What about unsalted chips?
Just go to the
You mean,
next
like-
Then they're not
question,
chips.
please.
I'm pretty sure they took all of our ships.
Chase asks, what's everyone's expectations for the MLP movie? How do you think it will affect the fandom?
I think it'll improve it.
Yeah?
I think effect on fandom will probably only be positive. I don't think this is anything that's like, oh my god, this can make or break the fandom. It's not. I do want to curb expectations though. And I could be wrong, but I think a lot of people that are rightly so excited for this, and I'm looking forward to it, but I think some people think this might be like the next big blockbuster hit.
No, it's not gonna be.
It's not going to be. Just based off of like watching the trailer, if you watch it from like an outsider's point of view and try to kind of look at it, without the we know who these characters are. I feel like the trailer itself kind of has this funky bit near the beginning where it almost like not to complain, but like some of the animation looks a little too like, like we upped our budget to use some computer generated stuff for a blimp. But then like as the trailer goes on, I feel like it gets better. So if they stick with the trailer, it looks better. But I don't know.
It is production like a few weeks ago.
Yeah.
It's
yeah,
really
you're
interesting to
saying they
me,
finished?
like watching the trailer, seeing how different Tempest's animation is compared to everybody else. Because like, to me, like Tempest's animation seems to be like a lot, like way up there in this, like in the. I don't know how I'm wording things, but it seems better.
Yeah,
than
no, and
most
I
of
want
the
to
other animation.
I want to clarify what I'm saying here. I'm not saying like, oh, it doesn't look good. I'm just saying like there's like one bit in the trailer, and I turned to Sarah while we were watching it yesterday. Where I'm like, it's one thing that sticks out to me that almost is like telling of, this isn't what studio technically is making this? Is it DHX?
I imagine.
Yeah, it's not like okay, it's not a Disney, it's not a DreamWorks, it's DHX, and this is a big step for them, and that's part of why I'm excited about this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying like, oh god, it's not going to be good. I'm just, like I said, I don't want people to go in thinking this is going to break $100 million on opening weekend.
No, it's going to take it at least till the second weekend to do that.
$100.
Where it's going to make its money is through merchandise.
Yeah, and I think it's going to do at least well enough to where it'll be considered a success, because it doesn't really have a lot of competition in October. The animated movies this year haven't been really good.
Yeah.
No, you're right. It's going to be the next. I think it's going to be the next animated movie if you don't count Leap. Since what? No.
Well, after Ninjago, because Lego Ninjago and the Lego movies always look good to me. And from the Ninjago trailer, it looks like it's going to be funny.
When does Ninjago come out?
Like September. September 22nd. So
when does Coco
the
come
second.
out?
Coco comes out in November.
Oh, okay.
November.
Yeah,
Okay,
like the
cool.
later end of November, like around Thanksgiving.
Oh, okay.
So so the My Little Pony movie is like pretty much in a prime spot to where it doesn't really have a lot of competition. So.
Okay, next question is from Ross Pitt. What's the best Disney thriller ride? Indiana Jones. The best.
The Disney what ride?
Thrill ride.
Thrill ride. Big Thunder Mountain.
Just rocking
Space Mountain.
Yeah.
Yes.
Everest.
Whatever is the biggest roller coaster, because that's what I like.
Indiana
He's a
Jones.
California Screaming kind of guy then.
California
Sounds
Screaming, or either like at Disney World, there's Aerosmith.
Yeah, that's rocking.
Rockin' Roller Coaster is great. That's a fun ride.
I remember the first time I went on that ride, and I didn't know if I was up or down.
Yeah, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah, I love it.
Let's see. Nikki D asks, "What's everyone's preferred beer?" I don't drink beer because I can't drink it.
Root beer.
So
Yeah, root beer.
That's That's my
I
answer.
don't drink it because I think it tastes bad.
I agree.
I don't know.
Wine, on the other hand.
I'll try it.
I gotta go with the stout.
Yeah. All right. Digital
What would you
Arrow.
try, Saber?
That's gonna take a little more thought, but probably you're gonna laugh at me for this one. The Naughty Sauce by Noble Ale Works.
I don't know what that is.
I can guess.
It's a golden stout with coffee.
Interesting.
So you're expecting a very dark beer. You get a very golden colored beer, but it tastes like a stout and has coffee in it. It's delicious.
Actually,
Okay. Digital Arrow asks, if you had the power to change the world, what's the first thing you would do?
Retire.
Let's move Trixie.
Fulfill that 10-year-old's wish.
move the hurricanes to California.
Oh. Just move
Thank
them
you,
away
Saber.
from civilization. Why not?
You guys are on
He's
fire.
giving us water. He's
But,
giving us water.
yeah, but we don't need too much.
But
We
you
don't
get-
have any fucking drains for any of our flooding that we get here.
I control the world, all right? You're getting like 3 hurricanes. You're gonna like it.
But do you have to give them like violent water? Can't you give them like peaceful water?
Yeah. Thank you. Like, we don't have the drainage systems to properly.
Guys, when it
like,
sprinkled here, didn't you hear that we had like a dam like fall apart?
Yeah.
Because we're like,
Jesus.
what do we do with this?
I'm just thinking of that water fountain in Toontown Race. Add violent water to that list.
Violent water. It just smacks you in the face.
Let's see. Nora Mermaid asks, my question is for Race and Saber and girls and Paleo. Okay. What was the let's just
everybody?
do for everybody.
Except for Hero.
What's the weirdest gift you got from a fan? I feel like there's been a lot of gifting questions lately. Like we had a gift question last time, or either like
Yeah, but I think
something
that
to
one
do
was.
with fans.
I think it was aimed at Gabe.
Okay. Well, it's now everybody. Does anybody have a weird gift that they've gotten from a fan? I think Race. I think you got a piece of bologna. I think that's probably the weirdest.
That was just a.
Yeah.
I can't fault Drummer Shy for it because I'm the one who put it in my mouth.
Oh.
Like I ate it, and then I'm like, I don't know if that was a good idea because it was like the first day of BronyCon, and I'm like, I hope this was good
I
meat.
was surprised that you did that. I was like, whoa, he did it.
I know. I think it was seeing your surprise that made me realize I was probably hungry. But to give credit, I didn't have any issues with that bologna, and it tasted just fine. So, yeah, I got a piece of bologna. To this day, I think one of the weirdest gifts I've been given was I was given. I guess this guy was like a child doctor person, and
A pediatrician.
he gave me this envelope, and it was like full of something.
That's on
And
his
I'm like,
business card. Child doctor person.
and he gave me this envelope, and it was full of doctor face masks that had little baby like Disney characters on them, and I was just like, thank you. Thank you. I've always needed these face masks. Bless you, Paleo. Bless you.
Bless you.
Let's see. Ross Pitt asks, what other country do you want to visit?
Japan.
Argentina.
I'll go with Japan.
Argentina.
Yeah, Japan would be fun.
Who am I kidding? Japan, dang it.
I'm the outlier.
Why Argentina, Paleo?
Orcas.
Oh, that's
well
so
said.
weird.
I want to see orcas eat seals.
What? Eat steel.
I
The
mean,
dog from Balto.
At Peninsula Valdez, there's a place where orcas like beach themselves to eat seals. It's really cool.
Americans also do that at the beach.
Oh my god.
You're right.
Let's see. Rosie Diamond asks, in honor of Michelle Creeper's 18th birthday tomorrow, what is your favorite CMC-related episode?
Can we just pause for a moment and realize that Michelle Creeper's turning 18 tomorrow?
Damn.
Word.
Like,
So old.
I remember. Yeah,
I'm an adult now.
she's almost Granny Smith.
She could be drafted now.
Yeah, she could be
Drafted by the Canadian government.
What was the last fight Canada got in?
The War of 1812.
Did they ever get into a fight?
Maybe Canada's doing it right. Like
They were fighting the
Canada
polar
had a
bears.
whole beach to themselves at D-Day.
I honestly think like Canada is like the country that like throws rocks at somebody, but that person just doesn't care, and they're like, no, look, we're fighting, and they're just like, no, seriously, just focus on the other one, just ignore that guy over there.
Favorite
I'm sorry.
CMC
America, we get really pissy if like someone messes with Canada. We're like,
Do not touch.
Favorite CMC episode. I guess maybe the one where they got their cutie marks. Like honestly, CMC episodes are not really my favorite thing in the world. I
would either say the Bab Seed episode or the talent show.
Yeah.
Can I say Cutie Mark Chronicles, even though it's technically not
I consider that
totally
that
counts.
counts.
It's a CMC episode.
I know there is one. I'm just forgetting what it is.
I feel like I'm in your same boat, Hero.
Yeah.
Like I feel like there's one that I want to say, and it's
just escaping me at the moment.
Yeah.
Well, when it comes to just burst in.
Right.
the season 2 finale.
Okay. This question is from Maziel, and it's for ACRacebest. What you make an idea a Zootopia real life zoo video?
Yes.
Let me decipher this for a second.
I think he's just like, what gave you the idea to do a real life Zootopia video when you went to the zoo?
Honestly, we were going to the zoo.
You dream anything?
Please.
What did you say?
Is that video of that kid who stutters? Like, what if you could anything?
I love that video. Well, honestly, it was
We were
gonna
going
go
to the zoo? And Reese
I'm
was
like,
oh. That's it.
Well, if we're going to the zoo, then I might as well bring a camera. And I don't plan out a lot of my videos.
Yeah.
Like, it was by chance that I actually ran into a rabbit at the end of that day. Like, I almost didn't see a rabbit that whole time, and I'm like, oh, I'm not even gonna have a Judy Hopps show in this whole video after doing this.
And then nature smiled upon you.
Yes, nature created a rabbit for me. Of course, the section was closed, so I couldn't even really say hi.
Yeah. All right.
Sarah, you posted that was one of your favorite videos I've done.
Yeah, it's one of my faves. It's funny. I like it.
What's so funny over there?
I'm playing the
kid.
The video. All right. Tugga Pikachu asks, how would you feel if MLP got a 7 to 8 part story arc or something in that same vein? Sure.
Would it be that?
That's a long arc. But
yeah, especially for a 22-minute show.
Yeah.
Make it good. I mean, if it's good, if it's well written.
I've already done it.
I don't think I've ever seen a show do an arc that long.
Unless it's like already like a show that has a lot of continuity, like Avatar.
Yeah, I think Avatar is the longest one I've seen with that 4-parter.
Oh, never mind.
Yeah, but even then, like Avatar,
the whole series,
Korra,
right?
Like the whole series is connected. So
yeah,
they just called it 4-part.
Twilight getting her wings is an entire series of continuity.
Yeah. I feel like that one. I don't know if that counts when it's like, oh, there's like one episode at the beginning of the series that kind of hints at it, and then at the end of the fucking series is the only other time that they address it. I don't know if that counts.
They addressed it another time. All those letters to Celestia came back to her when she was feeling all down and out, and Spike brought them. It's like, yeah,
So it wasn't a story arc until they created the one episode that tied them all together, and then it
was magnificent. Right?
Now it's 18 part. I mean, like I said, if it's well written, I'm down for anything.
Yeah.
Bring it.
Indeed.
Sarah, did you purposely skip one? I don't know if you just didn't see it.
What was it?
Norse Brony is asking if you could name a hurricane, what would you name it?
Gee. I didn't see it, but I probably would have skipped over that one. I don't know.
Now it's here. So, Saber, if you could name a
Calypso.
hurricane, what would you name it?
All I know is that the one before Harvey would have called Steve.
Yeah, no, that's. People were sending me that like joke throughout. They're like, "Hey, what do you think?" And I didn't realize that he had a hurricane named after him. So I'm like, "What does he have to do with Houston?" I'm so confused. What?
Wait,
No.
no,
I saw.
it wasn't named Steve.
I saw a suggestion where someone's like, "Why are we naming these hurricanes after like, it's like names? Like they should be called like Deathbringer." Yeah, like something like insanely like scary. So everyone's like, "Oh my god, let's take this seriously."
The Annihilator.
Hurricane Deathwing or something like that.
Yeah, Taser face. Watch out.
I think we've got only a couple more. Oh shit.
Well, let's round it out then.
Yeah, okay. We got Jory asking, who do you think will win the Monster Energy Championship, and do you think Dale Jr. will run a race this season towards ACRacebest?
Yeah, in case anyone was wondering. I don't know about Dale Jr. His best chance is going to be at Talladega, so I guess we'll see. Just been kind of hit and miss. I don't know who's going to win, but I'm rooting for Kurt Busch.
Ozzy L asks, Toodles and ACRacebest, how did you survive on a broken AC? We did okay. We went 2 days without proper AC. We had to stay at his parents' one night, but we survived.
It was 90 plus degrees in our apartment, and we gave up. We're like, no.
Hey, Race.
Yeah.
With that whole experience, how excited are you to be done with the broken AC jokes?
You know, I gotta admit, Gabe made a joke when Sarah said that the AC was fixed, and he just asked if I was wearing the cone or whatever.
Yeah.
And that actually made me laugh out loud at work. I was like, God damn it. It's so obvious, yet at the same time it made me laugh.
Well played, Gabe. Well played.
I only just now noticed that Sketchy's been sending questions only to the Semi-Perfect Pod, and I always feel bad because I always check that one at the end, and I'm like, oh wait, we do have a lot more questions.
Lay it on us.
Okay. These ones will probably be kind of like a lightning round. Let's see. Sketchy asks, are any of you into drag?
Like drag. Racing or queens?
No, like drag queens. ACRacebest and Saberspark would make amazing drag queens, Sketchy says.
They actually kind of would.
Well, hasn't Saber worn a dress at a thing?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I put on makeup for that that BronyCon video.
Yeah.
You're beautiful.
Thank you. So were you.
Thank you.
We're so hot.
Yeah, we are.
All right. Next question from Sketchy is wait. Yes. Okay. Do any of you struggle with anxiety? If so, do you have any tips?
I'm probably not a good one for this question. I don't think I do.
Ditto.
When I start to worry about stuff, like specifically about like, I have a lot of anxiety about like, when am I gonna get like and keep a good job and stuff like that, and sometimes I doubt my artistic abilities and all that stuff. A lot of the times what I do is I watch Whisper of the Heart, which is like my favorite movie and one of my favorite movies. And I really identify with the main character in that movie, and sometimes it's just a really good outlet for me to just watch and cry a little bit.
And having never seen Whisper of the Heart, is that because that person there also has anxiety issues, or
they also,
it just is a place for you to go and relax?
No, they also have those sort of like same worries about like, oh, like you've got she's always consistently like worrying like this person in my life is doing these amazing things, and here I am just, I'm just writing this dumb story, and she doesn't really believe in herself, but she pushes herself to do the thing and finish her story.
Hell yeah.
And stuff like that. But yeah, it's a good movie, and it's kind of like a de-stressor for me, because like it gives me that outlet to just like kind of like.
I'd kind of like to see that one, Sarah.
Yeah, but I'm gonna cry. I always fucking cry. I'm gonna
Sarah doesn't
cry.
cry like with many movies.
No, I don't cry at a lot of movies, and I almost kind of pride myself on that fact. But this is the one movie that consistently always gets me to fucking bawl like a baby.
You cried at Dolphin Tale.
I did, but those were circumstances that I just.
I love that you pride yourself on not crying at movies.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I too definitely feel anxiety, partly from the profession, because when you're sitting there on the eve of trial or on the eve of a hearing, you know you've done everything that you possibly can do to make sure you've calculated every single possible variant of what's going to happen. At the same time, you sit there thinking, have I done enough? Can I do some more? What am I going to do? What happens if they do this? What happens if they do that?
Yeah.
I don't know that there is an actual answer to it. There is no way to eliminate that anxiety. The best thing you can think to do is know that you've done what you can, know that you've done it before, and know that you will do the best you can with what you have.
Yeah.
That is by no means a psychologist's answer, but that's what I remind myself of.
You know what they say?
What do they say, Race?
Don't worry, be happy now.
Plastic Fish told me that one.
Yeah, I think he told all of us.
You were drunk.
All right. We'll just do it. There's a couple more that just came in, so we'll probably end on those. Sketchy asks, Saber, how is your drawing coming along?
I'm having so much fun drawing.
Good.
Whenever I'm done with my video, I'm going to get back to doing some evening streams. I'm trying to...
You're drawing now, Saber.
For the project.
Yep. He's doing drawing live streams. He's done 3 so far?
Yes.
Cool.
Well, cool. When are they?
He's been drawing unholy things.
He drew Judy Hopps. It was awesome.
I love the transition right there, the connection right there.
Well, you asked.
Okay. I think this is going to be the last question. From Jory asks, to Race, how is the Zootopia Shrine coming along?
It gets bigger every day.
It's been a little stagnant as of late because there's not much new merchandise.
Well, it might grow this weekend.
Sarah, are you going to call in all these Zootopia nonsense things with like your own obsession someday?
I don't think so. Because everybody's like, oh, just wait till Wreck-It Ralph 2 comes out. But I'm like, I don't even know if any of like the toys and stuff's going to be good for that movie. Because the first Wreck-It Ralph movie, I didn't like any of the merchandise. Like, I didn't like any of the plushes. I'm really, really picky when it comes to like plush and if I'm going to buy it. Like, if it looks a little weird, I'm just going to be like, nope. I'm not going to spend my money on it. So, I don't know if I'm going to get any Wreck-It Ralph 2 stuff unless, like, unless those toy designers really show out something great. I don't think I'm going to really get
What if
Grace
you get the
back.
opportunity to work on one of those toys?
Say what?
What if you get the opportunity to work on one of those toys?
Well, I would only assume that they're pretty much almost done with the toys by now.
Yeah, you're probably right.
Yeah, so I don't think I will have much opportunity. Yeah, they did just do their first screening for Wreck-It Ralph with the animation crew. So I think they're pretty far along with the movie, so I think probably toy designers would have a lot of material at this point to make toys out of, so I think that's probably something that's been rolling for a long time.
How many times are we going to see Wreck-It Ralph in theaters?
I don't know.
I don't know. How many times did you see Zootopia?
30.
Match it.
Like I don't want to though, because that's spending a lot of money that I don't really have.
Make a race. Do it.
So I saw this cute post where someone's like, I'm gonna be just like ACRacebest, and when the MLP movie comes out, I'm gonna see it 3+ times.
3+.
3+.
Like, damn. Wow. Easy there, kiddo.
Don't spend all your allowance money at once.
3+.
Still $30.
Yeah.
That is a sizable chunk of money.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Don't you know, Race and Sarah, Californian, they have a shit ton of money.
Well, until we pay for rent.
Yeah, we have a shit ton of money, so we can spend a shit ton of money on rent.
Yeah, that's what being a Californian's about. You have to pay for using that.
Why were you born in such an expensive place?
Well, I moved here, so
life found a way.
I'm not blaming you.
Blaming.
Right? Like, why that word?
My parentals.
Well, are we ready to wrap up?
Winter
I don't know. I
wrap
still
up.
think
Winter
long as
wrap
everyone's still here.
up.
I didn't hear.
Do you not like that song,
said.
Hero?
I actually don't like that song very much at all.
Don't worry about it, Sarah.
Well, I'm good.
What did Matt say?
Alrighty,
Don't worry
guys.
about it, Reese.
Well, Race, you want to end us out?
I do. Well, folks, have a great 2 weeks. We're going to be back here on Wednesday, September 20th.
Yes, the 20th.
And so
I'll be at my parents' house at that point. I might be able to do that, but I might have to hand it over to Race to handle the podcast again.
We've seen how good that goes, so there's nothing to worry about, guys. So yeah, we'll be back here September 20th again. For those of you that are dealing with any hurricane weather, stay safe and take care of yourselves.
My goodness.
And yeah, we'll be thinking of you guys. Again, there's probably going to be videos coming out from a couple of the YouTubers in here. Keep an eye out. Hopefully, I'm hoping that I'll have the Bronies React out before the next Semi-Perfect podcast. That's my goal. My goals are very not often met, but I'm shooting for it. I'm shooting. So other than that, thank you to the podcasters that were out here. Thank you everybody who joined us here tonight live, and thanks to everybody that's watching this delayed on YouTube or wherever this gets posted. Good night, everybody. Thank you guys for coming out.
Bye.